Right then, Portsmouth versus Luton Town. Luton, we need a reaction following our 4-1 home defeat to Burnley. I will talk about that in just a second, but before I do, please drop a like on today's video, guys. The more likes we get on these videos, the better it does in YouTube's little algorithm system which they've got going. It pushes the video out more, and it also gets more Portsmouth fans watching this video if you like it. And comment your pre-match thoughts, your score predictions, and who do you think will start. I feel like it's going to be the same team, if I'm being honest with you, following Monday's game against Burnley. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe for Luton and Championship content. So, Portsmouth versus Luton. I've been to Portsmouth twice in my lifetime. First time I went to Portsmouth was when both teams was in League 2. And we lost 2-0. Matt Tubbs, I believe, scored on that day. It was a horrible day. We weren't great at all on that particular day. But then in the second time I went to Portsmouth, we did actually turn up. We dominated Portsmouth from start to finish, silenced the home fans, which is really difficult to do, but ended up losing 1-0 due to a Jamal Lowe finish. And I remember walking back to the train station and Portsmouth fans were coming up to us saying, how on earth did you not beat us? Like, you dominated us. But yet, we ended up basically towards the back end of the season winning League 1 that year. So, I guess it was the start of something special that season. But anyway, those are my two past experiences of going to Portsmouth, and I am going this time round as well. So, I'm looking forward to it. I know they've done a few things differently at their stadium. There's been some improvements, so it'd be nice to see that. And yeah, I like the atmosphere. It's a lot different than these Premier League stadiums, and I haven't been to an away game in over a year, so this I'm very excited for. So I'm looking forward to this one. So yeah, Portsmouth versus Luton. We need a reaction. We really do need a reaction. The game against Burnley, it was just too slow. We were losing battles, it was too predictable. We weren't doing the basics properly against Burnley. And if you don't do the basics against any team in the division, you're gonna suffer defeat, especially if your players are not giving you 8 out of 10s on the day. But also, if you're playing against one of the very best in the division and you're not doing the basics correctly, they are going to punish you heavily. And obviously, since that defeat, Burnley are losing 2 of their good players. One's gone to Tottenham and the other one looks like he's going to Brentford in O'Shea. So it's just typical that we played them first game of the season, not a couple more games after we've signed a few players. But hey, but regards to Portsmouth, this isn't an easy game. I've already spoken about the atmosphere and how good Portsmouth fans make it. You know, it's close to the pitch. The fans get behind the team. They make it as hostile as possible, which I really like. We do the same at the Kenny. And with Portsmouth, their first game, I thought, wow. It really was wow. It could have been a cricket score. It really could. With the amount of chances they were giving away, Leeds could have scored a lot more than 3 goals. I think Portsmouth fans can admit that. They got quite lucky at times. But despite that, Portsmouth were giving it a go. They were creating opportunities, causing Leeds problems. And that's what's going to be the decisive thing on what happens in this game. It's going to be, how well can Luton defend? And I said the same thing on Monday. If we defend well against Burnley, we walk away with something. Did we defend well? No, we didn't. We conceded 4 goals. If we defend well against Portsmouth, we will walk away with something. Because that was the only reason why Portsmouth got opportunities. They gave it a real good go. They pushed men forward. And then they thought, well, we ain't going to sit back against a very good Leeds side. We're going to get chances. Like I said against Burnley, we were going to get opportunities. Burnley just defended extremely well. But against Portsmouth, we are going to get chances. And we know we've got one of the best attacks in the league. So we know we can cause problems and we know we can score goals. But if we score 2 to 3, you're telling Portsmouth are going to come at us. They're not going to go, well, we're going to accept the 2-3-0 defeat. They're going to come at us and give it a real good go, like they did against Leeds. They got one of the toughest starts in the Championship this season. I have read a few things online about their fans, I think, wanting more signings and spend a bit more money. Feels very similar to what all the Luton fans are currently saying on social media. I don't know if that replicates the whole fan base. I've really just seen a few comments. But Portsmouth, for me, I do think they are going to stay up. I feel like no problems at all. I feel like there's some much worse teams in the division than Portsmouth. So I feel like Portsmouth can become an established club this season and then just build on for the following years. You know, it's a project at the end of the day. It's not a sprint, marathon, whatever that's saying. I feel like Portsmouth can return back to where they once were. But it's going to take time. It's going to take a few more years. It could take longer, but they're in a much better place than they were all those years ago. But they've managed to figure out the trick to get out of League One, and that was probably one of the hardest things. I never thought they would be in League One as long as they were. But you know, it happens in football. You've got to sometimes find the right man. They look like they found the right man, their manager. I never thought he would ever win League One. I thought it was a shocking appointment at the start, but he proved me wrong, didn't so? And he looks like he's gonna do really well this season. So, look, from a Luton perspective, like I've said, it's about defending. We defend well, we win. I think it's going to be the same starting 11 that played against Burnley. You may get the odd change in. Zach Nelson may be off for Pelly or Zach Nelson for Clark. I don't know what the Clark situation is. I haven't seen the press conference. It hasn't been announced yet on what was said. I'll probably watch that later after this video goes out. But yeah, we need to bounce back. We need to bounce back. I feel like if we do win, it will give a lot of positivity within the fan base, and then we can use that positivity to hopefully sign a couple more players and then take it into our next games, because we've got back-to-back away games here. We've got Portsmouth here, Preston next week. So yeah, fingers crossed, Luton, we can do something in the next couple of days in terms of recruiting players, but also walking away with 3 points at Fratton Park. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.